Good evening. This video is in response to the question that I get a lot, and that is, what is the boost limit of my short block or my engine or whatever? And that's technically an impossible question to answer because boost really has almost nothing to do with the limit of an engine. If you look at some of my other videos, I have two where I describe the differences in turbochargers. What I think is called comparing turbos. And in that video, I tell you how one turbo can produce much more power on the same boost than another turbo. Now, why is that? Well, just having air and fuel in the cylinder, for one, doesn't mean you have pressure in the cylinder. Ignition timing is the true limit, I would say. It's cylinder pressure is the limit, but ignition timing dictates the cylinder pressure, not just boost. So I can have air and fuel in the cylinder and then have really, really conservative timing, and the cylinder pressure would be lower than if I had really aggressive timing. And I have a picture to show you that. You see here. So the graph on the left is the cylinder pressure on this engine at various ignition advances. Now, nothing else has changed on this engine. Manifold pressure is the same, RPM is the same, everything is the same amount of air and fuel in the cylinders. And all they do is modify how much timing the engine gets. And so you can see at 10 psi, it's got 1.5-ish megapascals of pressure in the cylinder. And then at 30 degrees of timing, you'll see it has 2.5 megapascals of pressure in the cylinder. And then at 50 degrees, it's spiking up to 3.25. But if you look where that spike is, you'll see that that spike is at like 2 degrees after top dead center. That means the piston's hardly even moving down. Everything's almost in line. The piston, wrist pin, connecting rod, crankshaft, everything's in a perfect line. And I have all that pressure, that huge spike of pressure pushing down on them. So where's that force going to go? Well, that force is going to be transmitted to the wrist pins, to the connecting rods and main bearings, and you're going to destroy a wrist pin. You're going to eat up your main bearings. You're just going to damage the engine. So in that case there, even though there's no knock, because the pressure trace looks quite different on knock, but even though there's no knock there, you're doing damage to the engine. Now this is super common on Subarus especially because of their geometry. They have a big bore and a short stroke, big chambers, and so they tend to need a lot of ignition advance to get the cylinder pressure spike where it needs to be, which is at that 20-ish degree mark, right around 30 degrees of timing in that picture if you look. Now, so what happens though? Like, why does it happen? Well, someone puts the engine on the dyno, and they add timing, and power goes up. They add some more, and power goes up. They add some more, and power goes up. And they exceed the power or the pressure that you see there at 30 degrees. Now, in that case, there 30 degrees is where it should stop. That cylinder peak is right where it should be. But if you look at 50, the 50 degree mark has the same pressure, really close at least, same pressure at 20 degrees at top dead center as the 30 degree curve. So what that means is it is going to make a little more power and a little more torque and that kind of stuff, but it's doing it at the expense of a lot of damage. And like I said, E85 on Subarus, this happens a ton. And you see guys that spit out head gaskets, eat up their main bearings, wrist pins, C's in the pistons, all kinds of good stuff really happen, right? So it's really important to understand that it isn't boost, it's really cylinder pressure, which is a function of ignition timing more than anything else. Obviously, if there's no air and fuel in the cylinder to combust in the first place, you're not going to have any cylinder pressure. It doesn't become a war. But what it does show us, though, is that you can take an engine at 15 psi and you can blow it up. And you can take the same engine at 30 psi and not blow it up just by having a different amount of ignition advance. So really, what is limit to your engine? Well, the limit to your engine is the quality of the tune. You know, it isn't horsepower. I mean, it can be horsepower because cylinder pressure or horsepower is a function of cylinder pressure, but there's so many other things that go into it. You have parasitic drag. The system might be more efficient, you know, versus another engine. And so while one engine might make 50 horsepower less than another one, it's very likely it has higher cylinder pressure. If it also has more back pressure, if it also has a different rod ratio and more piston side loading, things like that, a lower horsepower engine could have higher cylinder pressure than a higher horsepower engine. And so what would happen is the one with the higher back pressure is more likely to fail than the one with the higher horsepower. And so for that reason, it's hard to say even what a horsepower limit is. It's all based on experimentation at that point. So if you're looking for an engine, you're saying, hey, what's the horsepower limit of this engine? And someone tells you an exact horsepower limit, well, they're wrong. That's just plain and simply they're wrong. They're giving you an estimate. And the best you can do is just look and see, well, how much horsepower has this engine assembly made in the past, and go, okay, well, that's within my realm, and or what my target is. And you shouldn't shoot for an engine that barely hits your target, because you might be one of those cases where your cylinder pressure is higher for the same horsepower. So if you need a built motor, which is a lot less people than think they do, if you happen to need a built motor, then fail high, go just a little extra, to prevent the situation where you happen to find out that the limit for your engine was whatever cylinder pressure you had. But also, it puts a lot of emphasis on the tune. You got to have a good tune. You got to have a guy that's not trying to produce all the torque right away down low, with on 85 with a ton of timing, and is creating the cylinder pressure trace like you see there at um, 50 degree pressure trace, because that ruins engines in short order. And to the tuner's defense, nothing that they do indicates that. Nothing that they do when they're doing it, they're on the down and go, oh wow, power stopped going up, like a lot. So it's definitely gonna, at the end, it just takes at that point experience. Because you could easily take a car that I tune, like our rally car, and put on the dyno and make another 15 horsepower on it if you wanted to, but it won't last the season. Our rally car lasts an entire season because it's tuned just aggressively enough that it's not going to blow itself up. And you can only really get that through either blind luck or experience with it. I have a lot of experience with race cars. So the engine power limit doesn't really exist. The boost limit definitely doesn't exist, and all that. Also, I guess that's it. That's all notes I have for this video. I hope that it helps a little bit. I'm going to have a lot of videos come here in the future, and I hope that you guys enjoy watching them. Feel free to like, dislike, subscribe, comment, whatever you want. Thanks for watching.